Mathews VXR 31.5 review coming at ya. Boom.
Bite chunks out of me. You're a shark and I'm swimming. My heart still thumps as I bleed. And all your friends come sniffing. Triangles are my favorite shape. 3 points where 2 lines meet. Toe to toe, back to back, let's go. My love is very late till morning comes. Let's desolate.
So I just tied my knock sets. I'm level on the shaft, level on the string, level left and right. And you always want to make sure you got some wiggle room there, because if you have knock pinch, it's going to lead to a lot of tuning issues.
And keep my all lovely you. I'll breathe stones alone, my love, and keep alone my heart. 3 guns and 1 goes off.
Excuse the Hoyt hoodie. I've been a big Hoyt guy for the past 5 or so years. I just felt like they made the most rugged bow. Maybe not the best price-wise, but I just like the brand. I like the bows that they come out with. I'm coming off a 2018 Hoyt Hyperforce that I went through myself this past spring and restrung. It definitely did well for me. I was able to kill a pretty nice buck this past November. If you check out the YouTube comment section, you'll see a lot of guys that are definitely diehards when it comes to certain brands and won't shoot anything else. But like I said, I'll shoot anything if it feels right, regardless of brand. So my dad actually has a no cam and a helium, and I kind of give him crap for it sometimes. Oh, Mathews is a boat anchor, or Mathews is the slowest bow out there. But I'll shoot anything if it feels right. And that's what I'm here to talk about, is the 2020 Mathews VXR. I'll briefly go through specs since it's something that anyone can look up. I'll put them here on the right side of the screen and just go through them real quick. But for IBO rating of 340 foot a second, that's pretty much what you'll find standard for most flagship bows, any brand. 6-inch brace, very common. Peak weights of 60, 65, 70, and 75. So what's cool about Mathews is they use the switch weight mods, which I think is a great idea. Any VXR you will buy will come with the same deflection limbs. So what that means is you change weight by switching out modules. So I think 1 turn is like 5 or so pounds. I had seen that on another review. I haven't messed with it enough to know. But to switch weight, you switch the modules. So it allows you to be able to shoot peak weight, or at least closer to peak weight, where a bow is most efficient. And I think that's such a great idea. And to be able to change 10-pound increments without swapping limbs is also great. If you want to shoot this for a 3D rig, a target rig, or go out and hunt. So right now I shoot this at 70 pounds with the 70-pound mods. So I think it maxed out around 70, just under 73 pounds, and that's subject to change most likely. So also axle to axle. So this is the 31.5-inch model. Mathews also offers the VXR in a 28-inch axle to axle model. I know Hoyt does the same thing, just like their Ultra series for 2020. They have the Ultra, the Alpha, and then the Turbo. But I can't justify in my head shooting a bow that's axle to axle is shorter than my draw length, which is 29.5 inches. So I vouched for the 31.5-inch model. You're able to get a bit more generous string angle, especially at longer draw lengths. You won't feel as crammed anchoring, being chin down. So at my local pro shop, I was actually able to measure the riser lengths of the VXR 28 and the 31.5. The VXR 28 riser length is 25 inches, whereas the 31.5 comes out to about 29. And that is the primary difference between this year's VXR and last year's Verdicts. With the VXR, they added more cutouts in the riser. They call it the 6-bridge riser. And what they did there is to shave a little bit of weight, but also add stability, so it looks killer. It resembles definitely that of the Halon and then years prior, but the way they cross hatch everything looks great. And then they've got a big EHS damper down here. The bow, they say, weighs 4.6 pounds. A lot of Mathews have a little bit of a top-heavy feel to them, and shooting this bow bare, I did feel that. But with my 8-inch back bar and then a 12-inch front, 4 ounces of weight in the back, it feels great, and 2 ounces up front. What also differentiates the VXR from the Verdicts is that now Mathews has introduced the Silent Connect system. The Silent Connect system is something that's sold separately, or you can order with the bow. I bought mine at my local pro shop separate for 60 bucks. And really what it is, these buttons right here on each limb pocket allow you to be able to pull the bow up to your stand with just a good contact patch, and it also allows you to run a sling, which is pretty nice. With the Silent Connect system, you get a pretty long piece of string for pulling your bow up, but I went ahead and cut it and I made a sling out of it just for temporary. But there's a lot of manufacturers out there that offer slings for the VXR. But yeah, I went ahead and cut mine to length. And that might just get you that much more comfortability, you know, going to the stand. Especially coming out in the dark. You're not gonna, you know, most likely whatever you're hunting, you're not gonna shoot it in the dark coming out of the woods. So hands free, you know, you can carry camera gear. If you're hanging and hunting, you can carry a stand. So that's pretty nice. Just like last year's Verdicts, I would show it, but you can't see it. I'm running the regular QAD HDX, but they have the integrate rest. Basically, it attaches to your riser. It's that much more solid. Personally, I just went ahead and put my old QAD on it. There's nothing wrong with that, but I think before season starts next fall, I'll go ahead and get that integrate rest. Doing hang-in hunts and, you know, dragging your bow through briars, sticks, and just putting it through the paces, I feel like that integrate rest would be that much better at the end of the season. So, great idea, gotta have it. What comes on the VXR is the Mathews Engage grip. A lot of people I've heard argue that this is the best grip that Mathews has had, dating from, you know, the classic wood grip to the focus grip to now this. Personally, I don't mind it. It's alright. It just seems a little wide, and I know a lot of people would disagree, but I really just like a flat surface with no gradual rolls on the side. So I went ahead and ordered the Mathews Engage side plates, where you pop this grip off and then you just put 2 side plates on it. There's actually some cutouts in the riser that allow those side plates to cinch down. I don't mind the grip. I'm actually going to take it out this weekend and hunt with it and see how it goes. But there are much worse grips out there, and I think Mathews did a pretty good job with this one. What's also different from last year's Verdicts is that Mathews says that they improved their stabilizer bushings. So if I were to take this stabilizer off and the quick disconnects and everything, they beefed up their stabilizer bushings. They claim that it can improve stabilizer stiffness up to 10%. Personally, I didn't really notice anything different, but if I were to take these off, you can definitely tell that they've beefed it up quite a bit. So also what's new for 2020 with the VXR is Mathews offers a brand new finish called Green Ambush. It's really a slick looking color. I'll put some clips of it right now, but it's kind of a military looking green. And if I could choose one color that I could have got this bow in, it would have been Green Ambush. But being left-handed and weighting doesn't really gel too well with me. Along with the Realtree Edge that I have here in Green Ambush, they offer it in Subalpine, Elevated 2, Ridge Reaper Barren, Ridge Reaper Forest, Black, and the regular Stone, which has been around for a while. Now we'll get into what I like about this bow. One thing that I love about this bow is how quiet it is. This bow, compared to the brand new Hoyt that I was shooting side by side at Shields, this thing sounded like a mouse fart. So I knew that hunting wise that would go a long ways, especially when you're taking a little bit longer shot, or you know, you might have one of those calm evening hunts where a deer is more susceptible to ducking a shot. It'd be that much harder to duck a shot out of a bow that's this quiet. One thing I noticed on the Hyperforce that measures out to 32 inches axle to axle, so just a ½ inch longer than this, was it's easier to anchor with this bow than it is the Hyperforce. I would credit that due to the larger cams. These cams are a little bit larger than the Hyperforce, allowing a more generous string angle. But along with paired with the riser, this bow is so easy to anchor with, and I know that'll come in handy when I'm hunting or in a high intensity hunting situation. Coming from a Hoyt, getting used to this bow was a breeze. I feel that the draw cycle stacks up pretty early and dumps off quick, but it didn't take me but probably 10 shots to get used to. You can kind of if you time it right to where you're pulling harder up front in the draw cycle and letting off later, you can get a pretty smooth draw out of it. And it was something that I started to like more and more the more I shot it. So I'll add some clips here. Another key selling point to this bow is how dead in the hand it was. So before I added all my accessories on it, post-shot vibration was literally non-existent. There wasn't a lick of vibration, there wasn't any chatter, and that was awesome because I knew once I added all my stuff it was going to be that much better. To conclude, I think the Mathews VXR is a force to be reckoned with. I think this is hands down the best shorter axle-to-axle bow that you can buy and suit a lot of people. I don't know if there's anything better for the price, considering a lot of bows are getting to be more than $1,000 bare. Right at 1,100 bucks, you can't beat it. Mathews VXR. Go get yourself one.